covering the stories that impact your life, your town, your state, and your future. This is the Means Report with your host, Brad Means.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Means Report. We certainly appreciate you spending part of your day with us, where, if you are a loyal Means Report viewer, you'll remember about this time last year, we started to talk to all of the superintendents of most of our school systems to get a feel for back to school. And my goodness, here we are again. So we're going to talk about Richmond County schools today. We're going to continue our conversation with the man in charge of the Webster Detention Center, a great behind-the-scenes description of what goes on in that jail. And we'll show you how to stay in touch with the Means Report at the end of this broadcast. But let's begin it with Dr. Malinda Cobb, a familiar face in this community for sure, the interim superintendent of Richmond County Schools and a longtime employee of our local school system. Dr. Cobb, 30 years-ish, right?
Yes, I moved to Augusta in 2001, so
I've been
here quite a while.
Yeah, you have. Well, we appreciate all you do, and thanks for helping us get a feel for what the new school year is going to hold. Let me just ask you, speaking of 30 years, if education has changed over the years, and I know your answer could take the entire segment, but do you notice any big changes during your time?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes we always say if you taught in the 90s, you know a whole different kind of teaching, because after 2001, when we had the No Child Left Behind, introduced accountability, which really changed the way we go about education, because it introduced standards across the whole country. And so we started to have these standards, teaching to the standards, and then along with that came accountability. So it did change some of the ways. Most recently, I think probably it has been around the way that we interact with some of our parents. Mm-hmm. It sort of used to be your parents sent your child to school and whatever the teacher said was correct. And now it's kind of like, well, tell me more about what the teacher said. Yeah. So it definitely has changed, but certainly kids are kids. Mm-hmm. And it's still fun to watch that moment when that light bulb goes off. That hasn't changed.
Are kids more distractible than they were a few decades ago as far as their devices and things that could, if you don't handle them right, interfere with the learning process?
Right, I think maybe all of us, including the adults. Yeah. For sure, there is maybe a little more element of being an entertainer. The kids aren't quite just showing up. I'm here just because you are the teacher. It's kind of what you got. What do you have there? Yeah. And how can you entertain? Mm-hmm.
All right. Another question that could probably take the rest of the segment. What do more kids want to do when they graduate these days? Do they want to go to work or college?
Well, it's a little bit of both. Mm-hmm. And if we've done our job very well, they have a plan for both. So some will want to go, about a third of our students go straight into the workforce when they leave us. And another third go on to higher education. And then we have actually the #1 school that our students attend coming out of Richmond County Schools is Augusta Tech. So if we have really done our job well, then they have a plan for what they're going to do to actually enter the workforce. If they can leave us with industry certification and go straight to work, great. But what we always try to tell them is have that plan for workforce and be able to go and get some higher education.
All right, so let's say that they do want that paycheck sooner rather than later. Do y'all have a good relationship, y'all, the school system, with local employers so you can help kids get jobs?
Well, certainly we have strong relationships with some, but we're always looking for more partners.
Yeah.
Part of what we want to do, and we have a new team that we put in place for around high school programming and workforce development. We want to make sure that all of our students have an opportunity to do some kind of internship or work-based learning while they are in school. Sometimes that internship lets you see what you want to do, and sometimes it lets you see what you don't want to do. Mm-hmm. And both experiences are really important. So we are always looking to help make sure not just our students in career, technical, agriculture education, but all of our students have that opportunity.
All right, what about cyber? I remember a few years ago, it was huge. We did so many editions of this broadcast about cyber. Is that still a career opportunity, and are young people still interested?
It is, absolutely. Yeah. So we have a strong partnership with the CSRA Alliance for Cyber Community Education. We've really all come together. They meet about once a month where we all come in to say, what are you working on, so that we aren't duplicating efforts and can really grow in that area. As far as our pathways, we have a pathway at the Academy of Richmond County, but we also have a hub opportunity. So we have students from every high school who hop on a bus, go over to RCTCM, and take coursework in cyber education. But we took it one step more because it really starts earlier. So every middle school student in Richmond County takes computer science. And that's really the introduction and a hook. Now we have students that are very interested in game development, web design, certainly that as well, but those basic foundations. And we also offer a cyber camp every summer that has always filled up.
Have you been allowing these pathways long enough to see results? Have employers said, hey, thanks for these employees, they're great?
We're working on that. About 2 years ago, we introduced the profile of the graduate, which really, people call them soft skills. We talk about employability skills, but they help make sure our students are ready. The number one request that we get is for the students to put their cell phones down.
Yeah.
Employers like, I can't get the kid off the phone. So that is something, even last year we said, students, you have to put it in your backpack. And there was some separation anxiety for both our students and our parents. Not being able to have full access on the cell phone. So that has actually become number one, soft skill or employability skill, but we want to work on determination and problem solving, being able to be a good communicator and collaborator. Those are the things that we heard from the businesses that they want, and so that's what we've been trying to work to build.
Well, I don't want to run out of time, and we still have an okay amount, but I'm going to jump down to a question I had about moms and dads and caregivers. What kind of advice or guidance can you give us as the new school year begins to help August and September go smoothly?
Great. The most important relationship is the one you have with your child's teacher. So take time, if you're able, to go to open house, meet that person. Now they're meeting like a high school teacher might meet 125 people that day. Yeah. So, but making that initial connection, maybe following up with an email, or we have 2 applications that we use. Our elementary school parents use something called Class Dojo. They love it. I think we have almost 15,000 parents already on there, but that allows you to contact your teacher directly. Our middle school and high schools use Remind. So get those 2 accounts, because that's how the teachers communicate with you. Yes, I want you to get the Sunday night call from the principal about all the amazing events,
right,
but that relationship that a parent has with a teacher matters most.
All right, what is that fancy, glossy magazine it looks like you have with you?
Yes, so this is our back to school guide, and this is going in the mail this week, and it really contains, we designed it for our parents to say, this is all of the things that we think that our families need to know to have a successful school year. So families should expect that in the mail this week.
What can we do to help overall, not just during this first part of the school year, but how can we help our teachers and our administrators focus on learning and not other stuff? We can be like a support system at home, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. So one of the things is we always say, as much as possible, create a quiet space for your students to work.
Yeah.
Now, I am an advocate of that not being away in their bedroom by themselves. I believe in bringing them out closer to the kitchen table where someone can see what they are working on, because this allows you to have an opportunity to dialogue. You don't have to hover, but you can talk about what they're looking at. Every student should read for like 20 minutes every day. And sometimes we think that's only elementary school, but it really is every single student. If they did that, they would see tremendous gains across all of their subject areas. But ask basic questions. Like, don't just say, how was the day? And your child may say, especially if you have a teenager,
Yeah,
just
no, you're right.
ask more. Just ask for some details. How did the presentation go? How was your test today? Asking those questions. If the parents could have a parent portal account, and that's something we can help them set up, it allows a parent to go in and see your child's grades, attendance. You can see if they're doing things well behaviorally or maybe not, but all of that information is available to parents, and it's pretty much live data. So.
All right, that's good to know.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, it keeps that connection going between the home and the school. Dr. Cobb, I know our interview flew by, but I appreciate your time. I appreciate your leadership, and I know it's going to be a great start to the school year.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Dr. Malinda Cobb, our special guest today. When we come back, what happens each day inside of the Charles Webster Detention Center? Well, the man in charge of it, as you know if you've watched, does not mince words. He tells us what it's like in a jail, and some of his descriptions are jarring, so we actually kept him for an extra segment, and you'll see that next on the Means Report.